So I've hesitated to do this video for a few reasons. So I'm going to talk to you guys today about our Myers family homeschool for the year 20 and 21. And the reason that I've hesitated is there's a couple reasons. First, I've seen a ton, not in a bad way, a ton of posts from people who've been homeschooling longer than me, who are way better at it than I am, talking about how to do it and steps and 1, 2, 3. And I've seen videos and Zoom calls and informational posts and informational swipes. And I thought, I don't really have anything to add. These people are rocking it. And then second, it's really niched. So I'm going to be talking to you guys about our transition from Virginia to Tennessee and what we've chosen for us. That's going to only apply to a very small amount of people. Some of you are going to be like, yes, I can't wait to hear. Most of you are going to be like, snorefest. So I try not to usually do really niche down videos because I like to hit a broader audience. However, I've gotten so many questions from you guys about what we're going to do since we have moved states. And that's why I decided to go ahead and do this. It's really hard. I don't also like to talk just about us. Anytime I do a video or a post, I like to make it informational to kind of help you guys maybe learn something new or give you some steps or kind of make you think about something differently. And this is just going to be purely about what we're doing and why we chose it. So different than my normal video, but I'm doing it because I can answer a broader amount of people. And then when I get more questions, I can just send them this video. So that's what I'm going to say in the beginning. So we moved to Tennessee in April from Virginia. I have been homeschooling since Annie was in technically kindergarten, and she's going to be going in the 6th grade. This year, I will have Annie in 6th grade, Andy in 2nd grade, and Eli will be starting kindergarten. In Virginia, we filed under religious exemption when Annie started school. I think Virginia may actually be the only state left that has religious exemption. If they're not, it's a very few amount. And under religious exemption, you can file with your county, you can write a letter, you have to get letters of recommendation, and you have to supply certain information that has to go in front of the school board, and they have to meet on whether or not they're going to approve your religious exemption request. Now, the reason we did that is because our family very firmly believes you cannot separate your faith from your education. And that's what the public school system does, is they pull faith in God out of education. We don't see how that's humanly possible. There's no way to pull God out of science or even math when it comes down to it. And so that's why we homeschool, is because we know you cannot separate God from your education, period. It's impossible. You can try, but that's just not, we just don't believe that. So that's why we filed religious exemption. Once you're religiously exempt in Virginia and you get that approval, if you're in Virginia and you're wanting that, call your county school board and ask them the steps that you need to complete. That way you're hearing it from the horse's mouth and you're doing exactly what you need to do per them. Once we had that, we did not have to turn in a notice of intent or anything like that. We filed our family, and then when Andy was ready for school, we just sent in a letter and said we're filing Andy under our family religious exemption, and then they leave you alone. We don't have to test or turn papers in or do attendance or anything like that. But then when we moved to Tennessee, it was quite a bit of a change because Tennessee does not have religious exemption for filing and things like that. So we had a couple different options. And when we looked into it, we knew we could file independently. So as an independent family, send in our letter of intent. We would have to send in curriculum and attendance forms. I always laugh at homeschool attendance. Does anybody else laugh at homeschool attendance? Like, hey, are you all here today? Oh, attended. Homeschool attendance seems redonkulous to me, but maybe that's just me. I don't know. They hear, they learn, and check mark. Okay, so when you do that, you're in charge of everything. So you have to do the filing, and you have to keep track of everything, and you have to turn it in, which is cool. A lot of people choose that route. But then we looked at the possibility of signing in under an umbrella school. So in Tennessee, you can sign your homeschool underneath an umbrella of another school. And so you can go to Google and type in Tennessee umbrella schools and then maybe use your zip code and see what's close to you. There are tons of options, tons and tons of options. So we looked at several in our area because we wanted something that was semi-local. and we called and we talked with people. Sometimes you have to interview people. I know a lot of people are like, I have to talk to somebody on the phone. I don't want to do that. So, I mean, sometimes you just have to put your big girl panties on and do adult things. I know, because I adulted today really hard when we had to get our AC fixed. So, when we called around, we got a really good feel for who we thought would be good. And then we actually set up an appointment to go to the one that we thought we wanted to file under. And that was Family Christian Academy of East Tennessee. So we called, we set up an appointment. We went there, they spoke to us. They answered all of our questions. We felt really good about it. And so then we decided to file the Myers Family Homeschool underneath Family Christian Academy of East Tennessee. So that means that my students are my children, not Ruthie until next year. Eli, Andy, and Annie are enrolled as students at Family Christian Academy, but we're homeschooling. So it is just an umbrella. We are here at home doing our homeschool thing. We enroll them as students there. As I say this, I'm like, this is totally legal. It's not like under the table homeschooling. I mean, this is how it works in Tennessee. And they take care of all the filing, letting the state know. We just fall under their umbrella. We also get their insurance, which protects us as homeschoolers, so that's really nice. So what I have to do is we had to apply and file with the school. At that case, we realized we only had Annie's birth certificate and didn't have a birth certificate, period, for Andy, Eli, and Ruthie. And you have that period after a kid is born when you have that I don't even know what my name is. You guys, I don't even think we have it. I don't even think we ever got it. So we had to apply and get birth for our kids. However, that's okay. We still applied. We can turn the birth certificates in later. So once we did that, you turn in your chosen curriculum. There are thousands of approved curriculums in Tennessee. I'm going to tell you guys what we decided to go with. And I'm going to do actually a post in my feed as well. But we're going to be doing a lot of Time for Learning, learning.com, which is an online curriculum. We're going to be using that. We're going to be using Apologia for Bible. We're going to be using teaching textbooks for math. And then we're going to be doing parent-led in a couple things like reading aloud, and copy work and that sort of thing. So those are the main things that we're going with this year instead of going with a Becca, because I want to kind of hone in on my kids, not really unschooling, but I want to see what Andy and Annie and Eli really love doing and really pour into them in that specific area. Like Annie loves crafts, and kind of try to learn how to base her school curriculum around how to help her learn about history, social studies, spelling, craft-wise. And knowing that Andrew would rather bounce a ball for 24 hours than sit down and do a math worksheet. He loves math, but he would rather go. And so that's why I'm not choosing a Becca Academy this year. We did it for 2 years. It was amazing for us. I would not change anything. It fit us in that season. It was exactly what we needed. It is an amazing curriculum. But because of the way that we're going and the desire that we wish to go for our family, we are going to change things up this year just a little bit and do some unit studies based on their likes and interests. So Time for Learning, timeforlearning.com. And then Apologia, we're doing some of that, and then teaching textbooks for math. So that's what we're going with for this year, and then some extra reading. So once you fill out your paperwork for your child, you get their birth certificate, you put down the curriculum that you're choosing for them. What you have to do thereafter, after you're filed, is that at the end of the semester, so in December, it's actually due by January 15th. And then at the end of the year, which is due by July 15th, I have to turn in their attendance and also their grades. So I, as their parent, will see how they're doing. I'll give them a grade. I'll turn it in, and it will get filed. There's testing in the state of Tennessee at 3rd grade, 6th grade, and then 9, 10, 11, 12. And that testing doesn't mean if they do badly that they're going to pull them out of your homeschool. It's just a barometer of where do I need to focus for my child and do a little bit harder work. They're not really getting this geometry, or they're not really getting this science, or they don't know how to write a sentence. And it lets you know where they need some extra work. And so that's in Tennessee, 3rd, 6th, 9, 10, 11, 12. Now I'm new to this, so if I miss something, So always look into it yourself. Now we've got that filed. We are going to start in the middle of August. And another thing is in Tennessee, if you file independently and you don't file under an umbrella school, then your child will have to file for a GED instead of a diploma. And since we're now enrolled at the Family Christian Academy, they will get a diploma and transcripts from Family Christian Academy when they graduate if they should need that. And for us, that was a really big deal. So this school also, they do field trips, they have workshops, they work with the parents, and they do all the testing, so we just have to take them in. They have graduation ceremonies. They know so much. I got so much help with curriculum from them when I was trying to decide on what would work well with Andy's personality, which is why we're trying Time for Learning based on his personality. But they've got a bookstore there, and it's local. It's like 5 minutes from my house. They are based in Knoxville, Tennessee, but they have a branch here where we live, which is really nice. So that's what we've gone with. That's why we wanted an umbrella to kind of protect us, to help us get things turned in the state of Tennessee. And I actually was a little worried it was going to be hard, and it's not. I filled out the paperwork. I paid for them. It's $75. Well, actually, let me check again. It's $85. I want to say it's $85 for the first student. Yes, $85 for the first student, $75 for the second, $65 for the third, and then no charge for children after that. So that's what we're paying for tuition to fall under this umbrella school, which for us was really, really, really reasonable, especially since then you pay for the testing. That's pretty normal. Also, we were able to, and I hesitate to say this, but I'm just going to tell it because I know people are going to ask. You can file for religious exemption for both testing and vaccinations. So you can say, I would like to file religious exemption for testing. It goes against my spiritual beliefs, or I would like to file religious exemption for vaccinations, and that's really easy. You check a box, you tell them why, and they turn it in. So that option is there for you as well. So we are really happy to start our year at Family Christian Academy in East Tennessee, and that's why we went with it. That's how we're working things. I do plan to put up a written post with exactly what we're using for each child to kind of give you guys some ideas. There are lots of people here on Instagram posting amazing things about homeschool. Kelsey comes up, Simple Life by Kels. Make sure to check her out. She's been doing homeschool interviews, which are really awesome. You can learn a lot from listening to what veterans who have homeschooled for a while. But that's our transition from Virginia to Tennessee, and I've actually been really pleased at how easy it has turned out to be. We're really happy with our decision, and we will start around the middle of August. So if you have any questions, I know this was really niched down, and I understand it won't fit everybody, but hopefully it will hit some of you and it will help you make some decisions. And if you are concerned whether or not you can do this homeschool thing with your kids, I'm going to tell you again and again and again, yes, you can. I am God's testament. If I can do it, pretty much anybody on God's planet can do it, because I don't like to do really hard things and I am a hot mess. So there's that. You guys have a great day. Let me know if you have any questions. Happy school year 2020.